Good on YouTube. A little early, isn't it? Oh. Either. Okay. Yeah, true. Restructure that. That's the one we are more skilled with. Oh, man. You still have the ad with Scott Speed in there.
On January 1st of this year, we made a major announcement when we added Porsche as our newest partner. The first car we added to the sim was the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup, and at the same time we announced that we would be adding several more Porsches in the future. For the next Porsche, we wanted something special, something unique, something that hasn't been seen in a racing sim before, and something definitively Porsche. Today, that Porsche is here. So here we are in northern New Hampshire, where we found the perfect diesel Porsche. It's a model P133, and we're super excited to be able to scan it today. That should take us about 8 hours or so. After that, we'll do photo reference and sound recording. Then we're back to the office to build this sucker. When we're done with this project, we'll have the most authentic tractor ever built. Take that, farming simulator. It'll take some time and a lot of company resources, but we can definitely say this Porsche will be ready to launch sometime in the future.
That's the popular one. A moment.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
Welcome, race fans, to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are in Hampton, Georgia tonight for NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series action from the 1.54 mile Atlanta Motor Speedway. This place is one of the fastest tracks on the NASCAR circuit. Speeds of over 200 miles an hour in the NASCAR Cup cars, like we'll see tomorrow night. But these are the trucks, and you'll see in just a moment, these guys actually run a bit slower than the Cup cars, Brennan. And, you know, that's kind of by design, really. They have a lot more downforce, and, you know, obviously NASCAR wants the series to be different. So you can see on track right now, David Levine and his Toyota Tundra, sponsored by Revant Optics, putting down a qualifying lap. We'll switch over to some others. We'll get Bradley Wilson on screen as he is doing his qualifying lap in the Oil Can Hancock's truck. And, Brennan, we've got a lot of laps on hand tonight, 130 to be exact, and there is money up for grabs. I'm not sure if you saw the post about it on the NMNTS Facebook page or not, but these guys, the stage winners, are each getting $10, and the race winner gets $15. So you can walk out of here tonight with $35 more than you came in with.
That's definitely always good. A little bit of prize money. Obviously, it's a long way to the end of the year to get your prizes there, so I think it'll be a little more enticing as well as the stage points and all that for championship.
Yeah, I think this definitely adds a bit of excitement to the series. These separate races throughout the year where drivers can get more cash and can just get some extra money. I think it's great for the series as a whole. You will hear motors going around for pretty much all of the first 10 minutes of qualifying. These guys do have 10 minutes to actually put down a lap, and, you know, they're all qualifying at the same time. Granted, they can't hear each other or see, well, hear or see each other, but they are all on the same track and putting down lap times, so the times are just flowing in right now. And currently, it looks like Tyler Justice is your pole sitter. That's no surprise, Brennan.
Yeah, not really. I think he claimed the pole last night in the super late models as well, and in the trucks, that's kind of his thing, as we've seen from last year.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Justice really hits his mid-season stride on these tracks. The 1.5 mile speedways, really super speedways almost for these trucks. They're very, very close to Daytona, actually, in how they drive. And it's pretty much put it to the floor, turn left, and see what you can do. Obviously, you know, there is skill involved with any track, even Daytona and Talladega. So it's not to say that these tracks don't require skill, but it's certainly easier to run good here and at other 1.5 mile speedways if you are newer, because it's more straightforward. There's less to keep track of each and every lap. So I think, you know, you kind of came up through the ranks a little bit last season in the NMNTS Truck Series, and so you kind of got a taste of that on your own, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit, definitely. It's a big learning curve for me. I come, you know, not really from asphalt. I think we've mentioned before a couple of times, I'm more of a dirt driver myself, so getting into these, and you know, it's a big learning curve to take it on to asphalt compared to the dirt. So, but any of these tracks, I think, like as you mentioned, there's nothing here that where you just sit back and just turn the wheel a little bit and just drive. You have to mentally be focused, because as you mentioned with like Daytona and that, I mean, you're gonna have 10 other drivers within like spitting distance from you at all times, so you have to keep your eyes out. And then here it'll be probably pretty similar, and then just keeping the hold on top of the racetrack tonight as well. So yeah, it's nothing that's super easy, but when it comes to tracks, I think this one's maybe just a little bit easier than some.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely far less technical than somewhere like Myrtle Beach, for example, where we'll be in a couple of weeks, actually. We'll be going to Myrtle Beach here very, very soon with these trucks. So I think there's definitely, I guess, just a stigma around cookie cutter tracks like Atlanta that maybe shouldn't be there. A lot of guys come into these cookie cutter speedways and think, oh, well, that just takes no skill, and it's just the same thing, whatever, especially in the trucks where they would say it maybe takes no skill because it's just mash it to the floor and turn left. But actually, you know, to that point, really, iRacing has done a great job of getting these trucks more up-to-date with their counterparts in real life that you see pretty much every Friday or Saturday night. You know, just shifting the downforce more to the front, getting the trucks a little bit looser than they were before, and really just getting them more up to date with the 2018 specs.
Definitely.
Well, Brennan, I think that'll conclude our coverage of qualifying. We will go ahead and get to talk with our pole sitter. That's going to be Tyler Justice. So actually, no, Michael Redding won the pole last night. Tyler got outside pole. I was going to say for the second night in a row we were going to get to talk to Tyler as the pole sitter, but it's just the first night in a row. But I definitely would not count him out for tomorrow night's pole by any means. So we'll see if we can get him up in the booth, and I'll let you take it away.
Ready? Tyler, think you're gonna be our pole sitter tonight. How you feeling about that?
Feels pretty good right now. Just gotta be careful in the race. We got a bunch of cars out here in the field tonight, so just gotta keep our head forward and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Track conditions are not really what you'd consider ideal. It's kind of overcast and the temperature's a little low. Looks like the track temp's at 65 degrees. How's that gonna play out for you through the night?
Yeah, it's definitely not what I would like in a track. I like it to where it's real slick and not a whole lot of grip, where you have to really drive the car to get around this place. But we got a whole lot of grip here tonight, and gonna be wide open for the first few laps. So it's gonna be important to kind of conserve your tires, and I think the person that saves the tires their best is gonna end up with the win tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Any strategies coming out there? You think you're just gonna full board, try and get as much of the lead as you can, or you gonna play it a little safer? Or...
I mean, I'm definitely gonna try to save the tires a little bit, but I definitely want to keep it up front, because once you get back in traffic, it's gonna be hard to work your way back up through there with it being so grippy out there. So we'll see what I can do, and maybe we can get a win tonight.
Alrighty, sounds good. Give me an opportunity. You want to shout out anybody, any sponsors, anything like that?
Yes, sir. I want to thank my sponsor, SimSpec, as always. I want to John and Ken for that. I want to thank Bradley for the league. I want to thank all my teammates. We got a good bit of them qualifying up here towards the front, so hopefully they can all do well tonight. And I want to thank you guys in the booth. Good luck.
Alrighty, good luck to you as well.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, Tyler. That was Tyler Justice in the number 7 SimSpec Chevrolet Silverado. And again, he'll be starting from the pole position. Let's quickly go through your top 10 tonight at Atlanta. We've got Tyler Justice again on the pole position. Jared Beasley, his teammate, following him up in second place. Then we go to Mike Bruno, another one of their teammates at Evil Outlaw Motorsports. Finally, we get to a WFO Motorsports machine. That's going to be Bradley Wilson in the number 51. I'm going a little too fast. In the fourth position. In fifth, we will have Mark Broderick in the number 32. Let's see the rest of the top 10 here, Brendan.
Alrighty, in sixth place to start will be Trevor Harmon, followed by Zachary Chrysler in seventh. Eighth is going to Michael Redding. In ninth place, we have Joe Burchett. And 10th going to Blake Falone.
And we'll quickly... Oh, I just realized that there's a big logo in the middle of the screen. Sorry about that, guys, but you can see the top 10 here now. And then I quickly want to talk about Trevor Hartman a little bit. Out of Fort Mojave, Arizona, that guy did not make Daytona. And surprisingly has put that truck almost in the top 5 in qualifying. So kind of remarkable for that guy to just come out here and shake off Daytona, get it out of the way, and now he's almost starting in the top 5 in his first season of full competition with the NMNTS, and I think that's great to see him be able to do that. Hopefully we can see him possibly get up there in the top 3 and mix it up. Maybe get a win tonight. I think that'd be really cool to see, but we'll go through the rest of the field here. We won't go by each driver, but we'll pop up the results on your screen now. And as we go through our final preparations before the night gets going, I do want to mention there are plenty of drivers out here who do not have a charter to automatically race in the series. So we're going to try and, let's see if I can pull that up on here. I totally forgot where to actually go. But I'll see if I can find that real quick. Brendan, what are your thoughts going into tonight?
Well, as I mentioned with the interview with Tyler, it's the temperatures aren't quite exactly what you'd look for, especially, kind of almost springtime race, I guess you could call it. It's going to be a cool one, and it's overcast, so as Tyler brought up, it's going to be really grippy, so I think we'll definitely see a lot of nose-to-tail action here, maybe some side-by-side for a while until they can't really make it work anymore, but I think we'll see one big snaked-out line probably, so definitely trucks really going to be packed right on top of each other, so it should lead to some really good racing.
Yeah, and guys, if you're wondering why the track is so cloudy, normally Bradley Wilson and everybody else at the NMNTS tries to replicate real-life weather as closely as they can. So whereas the race was actually run in the late evening into the night in real life at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, the NMNTS has done something somewhat similar and is giving these guys a very cloudy and very cold and very grippy track to race on tonight. So they're just trying to emulate that a little bit, and that's why it's so cloudy and overcast. Now, I am trying to look for our list of chartered drivers as we speak. So I'm certainly trying. There we go. I found it. Okay, so the 30, I don't know if we have him even here tonight, does not have one. The 25 does not. Not sure if we have him here either, but let's see. Let's go through the field once more and see if we can find some of these guys just to update you on who will be going home, because there will be plenty of drivers from this race not making it in. 40 drivers showed up, and not everyone will make it, unfortunately. I believe the 97 Mark Richter may be bumped, actually, out of the field. And then the 27, Trevor Herman, he was definitely in. I know the 21, Blaine Falone, he has a charter. He'll make the show. The 22 as well. That'll be Kenny Yance. The 28 has a charter, so Corey Walters will make it. So that means at least 3 will be going home. That is from 32nd up, I should say. At least 8 will be going home in total. The 92 does not have a charter, unfortunately. He'll be probably packed up and heading home. Can you check on the results and see where the 95 was, Brendan?
The 95. He 17th, yeah.
So he should be fine, actually. He should be good to go. Looks like Ronald White may be bumped. The 43, I think, is good to go. I think he has a charter. Yeah, he does. So that's 4. Does the 23 have a charter? He does. That's 5. The 00 makes 6. And then, yeah, I think it's Clayton Kurtz and Jake Little in that bottom section of drivers that would be cut that do not have a charter. So that means Clayton Kurtz and Jake Little should be packed up heading home. We're going to go back through the results. Looks like Justin Richter in the 97 should also be going home. Christopher Matthews as well. And we'll go back all the way through the results to get to this screen where the next, I believe, 4 without a charter will be going home. That should be guys like maybe John Kennedy, I think, will be headed home. I think Joseph Andujar is actually okay. He has a charter. Sawyer Ott, I think, has a charter. That means Ronald White would go home. As I look through the list, Jared Rashawn has a charter. Ryan Daniels has a charter. Jackson Allen has a charter. So now we're looking all the way up to possibly 21st. Because we need to take 2 more out. No, Heiza has a charter. Robinson has a charter. So we'll go up to 11th through 20th. That would mean, I believe, see, the 75 has one, the 1 has one. This is rather convoluted here.
I think I have a list here, just based on who's already disconnected.
Jeff Ford may actually be headed home as well, and he qualified 17th.
Yeah, let's see.
I think the 3 is okay.
There's 7 drivers that have disconnected.
So I think it'll be... I think I had the list, then we'll go to what you have, Brennan. Okay. I think it's going to be Jaron Mogard, Jeffrey Ford, that's the 3 in the 95. Then I think it will be Ronald White and John Kennedy, Christopher Matthews, Justin Richter, Clayton Kurtz, and Jake Little. Is that somewhat with what you've got?
For the most part, there's one in here, Aiden Young, that has disconnected already. I don't know. Remember, he was on the borderline of actually getting a charter. I don't know if he ever did
actually,
or not.
He doesn't have one either, so he would be headed home as well. So actually, I think that would save Jared Mogard from having to go home. Let's see if we can actually contact Bradley Wilson about this, possibly Kenneth Yance. See if we can get a hold of either of them to see who is going home. So for anybody that's confused, the NMNTS does have a charter system for this series. So that means that certain drivers are locked in because they were able to get on that list from the very beginning and secure their position. In addition, the NMNTS only takes 32 drivers per race in the SimSpec Championship Series. So that means that in a 40-car field, 8 drivers have to go home, and so that's what we're trying to figure out now. It's much like NASCAR system, so that's why we are kind of scrambling to figure out numbers here. Well, we're going to cut to a very quick commercial here, guys. We'll be right back, hopefully, with a list of who's going home. Just sit tight, hang in there, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We do have the official list. I believe Brennan is preparing that for me in just a moment, but we'll quickly go through the starting grid for the, let's get the actual name here. I don't want to mess this up. I want to be sure. I have the message from Ken right here. It is the 1-688R, presents the U.S. Army 200. And again, that Army Regiment is sponsoring tonight's race. That's why it is the U.S. Army 200, which also means they are giving some money away. Again, that's where the stage bonuses and the race bonus come in as far as monetary value. So, Brennan, do you have that list for us?
Yep.
Alrighty, can we get those numbers real quick?
Alright, looks like those going home tonight are going to be the 97. That's Mark Richter, the 42 of John Kennedy, the 99 of Ronald White, the 9 of Aiden Young, the 3 of Jared Mogard, the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, the 16, that one I don't know offhand.
That would be Clayton Kurtz.
Clayton Kurtz, and the 41.
And that would be Jake Little. So, that's Justin Richter, John Kennedy, Ronald White, Aiden Young, Jared Mogard, Jeffrey Ford, Clayton Kurtz, and once again, Jake Little at the back of the field going home. Let's quickly go through your starting grid on the front row. Actually, that's incorrect. 1 second. I'm sorry about that. We have Tyler Justice and Jared Beasley. In row number 2, we've got Mike Bruno and Bradley Wilson. Row number 3 goes to Mark Broderick and Trevor Harmon, who we talked about a bit ago. Row number 4 goes to Zachary Kreiser and Michael Redding. And in row number 5, to finish out your top 10, we've got Joe Pritchett and Blake Falone.
Picking up in row 6, we have Robbie Buckner and David Levine. Row 7 goes to Zach Lindgren and Spence Thompson. And this is where we start to make cuts, though.
And so then we would have Jason Alexander alongside of Matthew Welsenbach. Then we would go further back. This will actually be 17th and 18th, Terry Mason, PJ Popham. Then David Heise, Derek Robinson will be rounding out your top 20. We'll move on to Jackson Allen, Ryan W. Daniels, Jared Bashan, and that'll be moving Sawyer Ott up next to him. Then it will be Joseph Andujar with Gordon Larson Jr. alongside of him. Craig Lerman will have, let's see, go further back. We'll have Blaine Falone to his outside, and then it'll be Kenny Yance and Corey Walters in the very back of the field. That is your starting grid tonight from Atlanta. We'll go back up to the front, and Brendan, it's your call for the green.
Alrighty. Pace car makes its way cruising through 3 and 4 here. Everybody's down into second gear, ready for the restart. Dips in, they have to wait for the green. And we're underway. Good start with both lines.
My camera did mess up a little bit, so we didn't get the 7 and the 15 coming to the line, but you can see these guys shuffling into turns 1 and 2 for the first time all night alongside of each other. And already Tyler Justice getting a big advantage over his teammates of Mike Bruno and Jared Beasley, even taking the bottom line down the back straightaway. You can see these guys vying for position. Mark Broderick with some connection issues in the middle of the field. Out of turns 3 and 4, you'll see the 7 and the 19 opt to stay right on the bottom line. The tires can handle that for the first couple of laps, but after a while, that's not going to be an option for these guys, as these tires are going to start to give, and they'll have to wash all the way up next to the wall. It's going to be harder and harder as the race goes on for these guys to control these trucks. Battle right now is for 8th place. That's Trevor Harmon and Michael Redding.
Yeah, so far, it looks like everybody ahead of them's kind of got it sorted out. Actually, it's a battle for the lead now. Not going to quite get it.
Mike
right
Bruno,
on his bumper.
Yeah, Mike Bruno is now your leader. He actually got by Tyler Justice in that lap, I think in turns 1 and 2. Then Tyler tried to come back, and now it looks like the number 7 is starting to falter a little bit as Mike Bruno, his teammate, is starting to walk away just a tiny bit, not by much, but Mike Bruno certainly with the advantage in the early goings here at Atlanta. And Mark Broderick and Jared Beasley, a couple of these other teammates to the front too, falling back a little bit as well.
Yeah, and I almost have to wonder if that's maybe a little bit of strategy to save the tires out just a little longer, to see if they have something later in the run to get their stage points, because obviously this season we are battling for stage points here, and like we mentioned earlier tonight, you win a stage, you win $10, so that's something else to battle for.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to bring up, Brennan. These guys are racing to the lap 50 stage break, and I think their tires and fuel should be good to that break. What's interesting to me is Tyler Justice is pushing pretty hard right now. When we were just talking to him about the pole, and he was saying that the key to tonight is going to be to save your tires, and right now he's certainly not heeding his own advice. He was pushing pretty hard to get back by Bruno, and now he's fallen back of Bruno by a couple of car lengths.
Yeah, I almost want for him, since he's quite often has the lead, if he just likes being comfortable being out and, as we sometimes say, in his own postal code, and then he kind of backs it down a little bit, which I wouldn't blame him so much. If you have nobody to race around you, then you really can settle in and get in a groove, but now that he's got competition from his teammate, I wonder if it's unsettling him a little bit.
And that could certainly be something that's playing into effect here tonight. You know, it's always hard to tell with these guys because we're not actually in the truck making these decisions for them. So, you know, it's a little bit hard to tell for us sometimes if, you know, exactly what they're doing. But we can get a pretty good idea considering we've raced with these guys a lot, and we can obviously have access to just about everything but their throttle and brake maps from where we are. So, right now, top 3 is going to be all Evil Outlaw affiliated drivers at the very least. Mike Bruno in first, Tyler Justice has fallen to second, and Mark Broderick is currently in third place. Jared Beasley, though, not faltering at all, but I think these 4 up front will just kind of ride around now that they've kind of settled in, found a rhythm, found a line they like, and I think they're just going to pretty much chill.
Yeah, I am looking a little bit further back in the field, back at Robbie Buckner, PJ Popham, and Terry Mason, and Matthew Welzenbach are also in there too. That's a tight little 4-truck battle there they have going on.
Yeah, Matthew Welzenbach, not necessarily a newcomer. He did make the No Bull 5 last week at Daytona, which we didn't get to cover, but he's a newer driver when it comes to racing here full time. So this is the first time we'll actually see him compete for the championship, and I think once we hit his kind of West Coast swing where he'll be most comfortable at places like Las Vegas next week, and then Phoenix and Auto Club, I think that's where Welzenbach will actually be strongest. I think Auto Club is probably his strongest track, which, you know, is only 1 track out of the year, but it's still a help to have a strong track and maybe get a win. Oh, contact!
Oh,
Robbie Buckner in the fence. Caution out further back, though. It's going to be Gordon Larson Jr. further back. You did see PJ Popham get right into the 90 of Robbie Buckner. We'll quickly go back and look at what happened here with Gordon Larson. What are you seeing, Brennan?
The 7-Eleven and the 52 looked like made some contact as well. The 7-Eleven was spun around as well.
Yeah, actually, I think that's where this starts, and I think this may end up collecting Gordon Larson Jr. So actually, no, this was further on. I think they were missing or trying to miss. Robbie Buckner pulled it off the wall and ended up taking out David Heiza, and there was some contact there for Ryan Daniels as well. And that was after the caution actually came out for Gordon Larson Jr., and that's what I saw when I went further back. I saw a truck off the pace. That was Gordon Larson. So we'll get a look at what happens to the 00 here in just a moment. He was racing with Blaine Fallone, and he just got tight and pretty much just washed right up the track into the number 21. No fault of Blaine. And the Twin 2 dual number 1 winner at Daytona, unfortunately, with some troubles early in that Wawa number 21. Some pretty sizable left rear damage, even right rear damage, as he tries to get going again. We'll see how that affects his night. Looks like he'll get back up to the pace, though, albeit with some damage to that truck.
Yeah, just about everybody down pit lane to make a pit stop. That's probably very wise of everyone.
Yeah, definitely. You see some troubles getting into the pit boxes. iRacing did add animated pit crews, so that's definitely affecting these guys. You have to get in a much tighter box now than before. Tyler Justice still can't find his pit box. Mark Broderick with some troubles initially, and you can see these guys really having trouble getting into their pit box. Tyler Justice, the biggest one, I think, and that's really going to hurt somebody who was in second place coming into this caution.
I think he got cycled out right in front of Jason Burgess, who coming to the caution was 23rd. So that's a big jump for him if that position stays the same there.
Yeah, big losses for your pole sitter tonight. Tyler Justice going to put him all the way back to about 20th position-ish, I think.
Somewhere in that realm.
Yeah, that's a big loss, and that's going to be hard to come back from, especially by the stage break at lap 50, as we watch these guys pace around the Speedway. Looks like PJ Popham is going to be your big winner, actually, in this caution. He was the one that actually made contact with Robbie Buckner, which did play into one of the bigger events in that caution. Further back, Bradley Wilson will actually move up into 4th position. He was 5th before the caution, I believe. Michael Redding also with a bit of a gain. He's up to 5th. Zach Lindgren to 6th. Zachary Kreiser now into 7th place. Jason Alexander, I believe, made a bit of a gain. He will pull his Culligan water machine into 8th, with Spence Thompson right behind in 9th. And rounding out your top 10 is Joe Burchett in the Swamp Dust Seasoning number 83.
Big mover right behind him in 11th place. Jackson Allen took the green in 23rd, and he's up to 11th already.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about him. That number 4 hub, and I think that's Big Apple Buddy machine, is doing pretty good so far. He is one of the Daniels Cardinale Incorporated drivers, so he is affiliated with WFO Motorsports somewhat loosely, but definitely, pretty close ties there. And he is teammates to the number 22 of Kenny Yance and the number 52 of Ryan Daniels. Quickly, before these guys get going on the restart, we'll go back and actually check both of those guys out, since we were talking about Jackson. The 52, Ryan Daniels, currently in 30th as he brings his Exide Toyota Tundra back down the pit lane. Remember, he got some damage under this caution, so he's going to try and get that all fixed. And you see him make his pit stop right there. Gets in the box nicely, and work will begin on that number 52. I think it's just damage repairs at this point. As far as Kenny Yance, actually, he will be a bit of a benefactor out of this caution. He was running, I think, 32nd coming to the caution. Now he is 24th. And so that's definitely going to help him out. Hopefully he can keep that truck in a pretty decent position tonight. He is definitely a newcomer to the series and iRacing in general, so we'll see how he can do. And yeah, I think the call is back to you, Brennan, for this restart. Jared Beasley leading the way.
Alrighty. Once again, we have the pace car through the middle of 3 and 4. This time, the leader, Jared Beasley, is going to have the election of when he wants to go. We don't have to wait for the green this time, so some teammates around him, so I think they'll all be on the same page. They bunch up and they go. And Jared Beasley with a good start. Mike Bruno, not too bad behind him as well. Or to his outside, excuse me. And PJ Popham. I'm going to stick right there with him. Actually, going to be just to the inside of Bruno. See if he can make a move on the inside. I think we'll have him cleared. Not quite. I think we'll get him through 3, though.
They'll go racing into turn number 3 side by side. PJ Popham working on the number 19 Sovaga machine of Mike Bruno. One of the favorites to win the championship. Almost contact out of 4. PJ Popham already got Robbie Buckner with that right rear, and he was definitely leaning on Bruno coming out of 4. Now he's going to go on the attack on Jared Beasley for first place into turns 1 and 2, and he's got that bottom line like Kevin Harvick.
And if I was either Beasley or Bruno, since you're working together here...
Oh, a big wreck in the back! Derek Robinson, Joseph Andujar. Big time damage for the... sorry, I totally forgot the sponsor on that truck and I painted it. Oh, that's not good. I'll find it. I'll find it in the messages with him, but I totally forgot the sponsor on that truck. I feel terrible now. But big damage to the number 13. God, that was something big further back. I don't know if you've seen the replay yet, Brennan, but that was something big with the 818 and the 13. We're going to bring it up on the camera here in just a moment for the fans at home. This one was big, ladies and gentlemen. I saw the impact at the top of the screen as the leaders went into turns 3 and 4. And yeah, the 818 just got put in a hole and just head on into the turn 2 wall. I think just past the end of the safer barrier too, so right into the concrete. He'll keep rolling, thankfully, but that's about all you can say for that. I mean, if this was anything short of a sim, he wouldn't have a front end on that truck anymore. It would be completely pancaked, and he'd be eating a transmission right about now. So thankfully, this is a sim, and he can take hits like that and keep going. But yeah, you can see all the damage done to that number 13 truck.
Yeah, unfortunately, he kind of got squeezed up there and then squeezed some more and some more and some more, and there's just no room left for him, and that sucks to see for him.
Yeah, they were just trying to make room where there really wasn't any, and unfortunately that led to pretty heavy contact. And there will be some pit stops actually this time. Not everybody's going to come in. You'll see Jared Beasley, who was in second, he'll come into the pits, along with a lot of the drivers in the back coming in, getting service to their trucks. And Jared Beasley off and away. He's going to be mired back at about halfway through the field now, Brennan.
Yeah, interesting strategy, I guess. If he feels like he can make it back through the field, maybe for the stage, that it'd be beneficial. He can push a little harder now, a little bit fresher tires than everybody else. But I don't think I necessarily would have taken that, taken the risk there, just with having to navigate around everybody since everybody didn't come in there.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting call by Jared Beasley to come in and get service to that truck. But, I mean, he's a driver, and we're the commentators for a reason, right? So we'll see how it works out for him. And the rest of the field that did come in and pit, this will actually put Zach Lindgren now into 5th place. Bradley Wilson will keep 4th, actually, as Michael Redding got by him on the restart. And Michael Redding then will move up into 3rd, Mike Bruno in 2nd, and BJ Popham was able to get the lead by maybe a nose from Jared Beasley. I did find the sponsor on the number 13, that is Captain Mac. It ties into an airplane simulator, much like how this is a motorsport simulator. This ties in with aviation, and that's why there was Millennium Aviation on his super late model last night, and you'll see that on the Chevrolet SS you'll be piloting tomorrow night back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So that's Joseph Andujar in the number 13. We'll see if we can check on him. I know he just got a ton of damage to that truck, but we'll see what it's looking like. There's Derek Robinson. Joseph Andujar, I think, will be in the pits for a while as well. I think those guys both lost motors in that ordeal. So unfortunately, I don't think there'll be big storylines anymore tonight, which really does suck because those guys have both been working a lot through the offseason to get better and better and get up to pace with the rest of the field.
It sucks to see, especially anybody, I think, really taking out, this early into the race. There's so much left to it. It's just really unfortunate to see.
And I believe these guys should be doubling up for the restart, which means PJ Popham will restart from the bottom lane. Want to mention that these restarts in the NMNTS do give the leader choice of when to actually restart the race out of turn 4. Anytime from when the pace car peels off to go down the pit lane to the point where iRacing throws the green flag by default. It's much like the restart box in real NASCAR. The leader is able to restart the race in that zone, and it's very large, so there's a lot to work with. But it's really a nice element to the series, I think. It really makes it a lot more realistic than it normally would be.
And then we do have the lane change rule here in effect with the league as well. So if you start on the inside lane, you have to stay on the inside lane until you come to the checkered floor, or the stripe, and then after that you can switch lanes if you need.
Yeah, that's another good point, Brendan. Thanks for bringing that up. You have to stay in your respective lane all the way to the start-finish line, and then you can do whatever from there. But it's much like NASCAR in that respect as well, and it's your call for the restart.
Alrighty, pace car's in, and PJ Popham away. Michael Redding with a decent start, not too far behind him. Mike Bruno caught a little bit of sleep there. Michael Redding may actually get to the inside, not quite. Bruno's going to leave the door open. They're teammates, though, so pretty sure they're in communication. Bradley Wilson not too far behind.
As you see the field roaring by each of these cameras, you get just a feeling of how fast these guys are going, even for a simulator. You can see these guys battling so close through the corners, and a place like Atlanta, it really is closer than it might look. It's just everything happens so quickly here, and the track is so bumpy that it all just happens in a fraction of a second as Michael Redding takes over the second position. He is on a mission right now. So now the 1 and the 2 will move into positions 1 and 2. The 3 was sent home, otherwise we could maybe see if he could get up to third place and make it 1, 2, 3 for numbers 1, 2, 3. But actually PJ Popham got the apron a little bit. He'll move up. He pops up from the bottom line, if you will, and through the grass, Michael Redding puts the left sides in the grass, trying to get to the inside of number 1. He will have the slot going into turns 1 and 2. He'll try for the slider, and he's going to pop up in front of Popham and complete the pass.
Bruno's not really giving any contest here. He's kind of just riding. He's with them. He doesn't really push quite like you see with Michael Redding, how he's just starting to pull away. I think maybe he's saving his stuff a little bit.
You'll see the speeds these guys get up to into turns 1 and 2, 182 miles an hour, and they're not really lifting for the corners either, so they're still going really, really fast. And we'll see what they get up to in a turn 3. Now Mike Bruno has his nose underneath PJ Popham going into turn 3, Brennan. 184 miles an hour that time for the number 19 as he makes the pass, or at least tries to make the pass on the number 1 of Popham. Doesn't quite make it work, but he has his nose ahead. He'll officially complete that lap in second place. Now he'll try and get him in turns 1 and 2. Hasn't quite cleared him yet, but he's certainly trying, and just barely gets by him there. Now the crossover.
Yeah, the difficulty here is that we kind of run off the little bit of the really fresh tires where you can just flat out, 19.
Oh, contact!
Bumped.
Pop him into the 19. Bruno saves the truck, but just barely. He'll keep it going, though. He's not out of this thing. A lot of right-side damage, but he's not out yet. But that's 2 now, and I think anytime contact is made, whether it's intentional or not, the drivers will have their own opinions about it. And, we'll see if that has any effect on anything later on. Now Craig Lerman, a teammate of Popham, actually got real close to Bruno in 2 there. And, we'll see if the tempers flare at any point tonight. We saw Robbie Buckner fall victim to the one earlier. Whether it was Robbie's fault or Popham's fault or nobody's fault, we saw it happen. And the drivers will have their own opinions, whether that's totally correct or not. It's racing, and it happens.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're going to be a little cautious with everybody just because, beginning of the season to try and sort some guys out. A lot of these guys are veterans to the series, but I think you don't really get too heated right at the beginning. But
oh, no, Mark Broderick's slow ahead. Sorry, I hate to cut you off, but Mark Broderick now slow on the top side. He's falling back. So early troubles for these guys affiliated with Evil Outlaw Motorsports, falling back. You saw them control the first part of this race, and now they're starting to fall back, be it their own fault or not. And actually, Michael Redding almost got in the fence there out of 2. He's coming up on Joseph Andujar, the slow truck, the number 13.
Yeah, Andujar in the last corner there, I think, slowed him down just a little bit. Popham is right on his tail now.
Popham making the move out of 4. Redding blocks it. Just barely has enough room to make work, Brennan.
Yeah, I almost think he's kind of asking for it. Unfortunately, your teammate just got bumped by him. I would not play around too much with him right now.
But at that same time, that could be why Michael isn't cutting him a break, not letting him get down there. Now Michael's going to let him get down to his inside into turns 3 and 4. They're side by side, drag racing through the corners. Popham trying to clear him, won't make it work. He actually slides up anyways, almost makes contact. Redding fans out to the top side. He's going to try and draw back down and use the side draft a little bit. It doesn't work. He's losing the spot. Oh, contact! He hooked him into the fence. Oh, and he got Spence Thompson, Zachary Kreiser, Joe PORSCHE. No caution yet. I don't think we're going to get one. Mike Bruno had to slow down. And no caution for this. Wow.
We saw that last night in another instance where probably should have been a caution. There wasn't 4 wide into turn 3 there.
And Redding didn't get a caution last night for his spin either. And he's going to fall victim to that again. Bradley Wilson now your leader. Zach Lindgren into second. Zachary Kreiser third. That's going to really just mess with everything. Like, that just completely killed the dynamic of this race. PJ Popham down through the pits getting repairs. Michael Redding going to follow, I'd imagine. Let's go back and get a replay. I want your opinion on this, Brandon. Just, I mean, obviously don't want to get into it too much, but I got to call it somehow.
Yeah, there was room there to make the move. I think Michael may have just shut the door a little bit on him. Let me run back here and get it so I can see it myself. PJ kind of, it was the other way around, excuse me. PJ kind of ran up the track, didn't really give Michael anywhere to go. But at the same time, though, I think Michael could have seen that one coming a little bit, maybe could have backed out of it, but obviously you're racing for the lead there, so...
And I'm trying to get a replay up on the screen. This should do it now. This will be a replay of the 1 and the 2 into turns 1 and 2. See, just, I don't know. That's really hard to call. I don't know whose fault that's really on. I think it was just they drove into each other, really. If anything, I'd say maybe Popham actually came up a little bit. It's hard to call that.
Yeah, that's what I meant to call there. I misplaced the numbers. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that may have had a little bit to do with the teammates getting bumped out of the way there that PJ unfortunately did. I think that probably had something to play with that.
Well, I mean, if you're of the thought that PJ Popham was at fault for the first 2 with Bruno and Buckner, then that's 3 cars down for the count with the addition of Michael Redding. If you're not of that thought process, that's fine. Opinions are opinions. Everybody has them. And that means that maybe you feel Popham got wronged 3 different times in a row. So just early drama here at Atlanta. It's kind of unexpected to see at a place like this, but man, just that one should have been a caution. Just like last night with Kenny Johnson turn 1 at New Smyrna, that one should have been a caution. As a result of no caution, though, you'll see this field get strung out. Bradley Wilson, again, now your leader here at Atlanta in the number 51. Behind him will be his teammate Zach Lindgren in the My Little Pony machine. And we'll see if he gets 4 new Desert Eagles on that truck anytime soon. He'll get that joke. If you watch last night's broadcast, you'll get that as well. We'll talk more about it later. Zachary Kreiser into 3rd place, and safely in 3rd place as well. Jackson Allen safely in 4th. Jared Beasley is actually just ahead of Sawyer Ott, Zachary's teammate. Kreiser, that is. He is in the 5th position. Sawyer Ott in 6th. Tyler Justice has moved back into the 7th spot, so he's climbing his way back up after his pit stop woes. Now, Blake Falone into 8th. He's moving back up through the field. Trevor Harmon actually in 9th as he laps his team owner. Not Trevor Harmon, Joseph Andujar, sorry. He is just ahead of Matthew Elzenbach for the 9th position. Matthew in 10th, and he's going to try and make the move here. We'll see if he can get it done. David A. Levine, though, hasn't really made much sound this season just yet, but he is in the 11th spot, and he's got Revan Optics on the door this weekend. Jason Alexander now in 12th. Corey Walters in 13th, actually, as David goes by the 13. Burgess has fallen, or actually made his way up to, 14th position with Christopher Matthews. Actually, he made the show. That's surprising to me. I didn't think he had a charter, but he did make the show. And so he is now in 15th. And I'll give you the next 15 here, Brennan.
Alrighty, 16th so far is Terry Mason. Then after that, we have Spence Thompson in 17th with quite a lot of damage to the truck. Unfortunately, got caught up in that incident. 18th is going to be Mike Bruno. 19th going to Jared Washawn. 20th is Mark Roderick, excuse me. 21st, we have Kenny Yance. Actually, I went a little bit further than I needed to there, sorry. Alright, no, sorry, wow. Not paying very much attention. Robbie Buckner in 22nd. 23rd going to Craig Lerman. And 24th, we have Gordon Larson Jr. 25th going to Blaine Falone. David Heisen, 26th. Surprised he's still been able to keep it out on the racetrack there. 27th going to Ryan Daniels. And then pick up in 28th, we have Michael Redding. Very slow on the racetrack, a lot of damage. Joe Purchett in 29th in the pits. 30th, Joseph Andahar. 31st, we have PJ Popham. Obviously, just caught up in that incident. He's still in the pits. And in 32nd, we have Derek Robinson.
So definitely some mix-ups here tonight in this race so far. Just a wild start to a 130-lap race. Really, a lot of really hard racing at the start. Maybe a little too hard too early, but you see the result of that. You can see the top four is spaced out by quite a few seconds. And Jared Beasley actually quite a ways behind. And then you go further through the field, and these guys coming by the back straightaway. Just, yeah, various battles throughout the field. It's really spread out already, and I think we're going to see kind of a lack of a stage battle as a result of that. I think, really, for the most part, the whole battle for the stage will be right here, where we're looking pretty much from 5th to about 10th, and that's it. I think the top four are pretty solidified where they are. Got to thank everyone for tuning in so far tonight. We have 12 viewers. Let's try and pump that up a little bit on Facebook. Let's go over to YouTube, see what we've got there. Looks like we have some viewers watching. 7 watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in so far. We had RD Nation, Michael Frazier, NASCAR Racing, and Clayton Kurtz at one point or another. Over to Twitch, let's see. Looks like we may not have anyone over there. No viewers on Twitch. What the heck, guys? Got to pump that one up as well. But definitely value everyone that we've got here so far as this race continues on, nearing the end of stage number 1. 43 laps out of the way, actually 42, as these guys will complete 43 in just a moment. But Zachary Lindgren, actually, this is worth noting. Zach Lindgren in the 85 out of Los Angeles, New Mexico, starting to catch his team owner, Bradley Wilson, has made up a ton of time so far, Brendan.
Yeah, definitely. I'd kind of been watching it a little bit, seeing he was picking them off here and there. He may have something here. They start to navigate some of the lap traffic as he gets through Michael Redding there for Bradley Wilson. Zach Lindgren going to pass him here as well. I think he may have something for him here. There's enough time. He's been making up a decent chunk every lap. I think it may be something for the stage.
Yeah, I think Zach has enough in the tank. He's really good at saving his tires and being pretty calculated nowadays. He's kind of new-ish. I'd say new-ish, loosely, to the iRacing scene. He maybe doesn't have as much experience as guys like possibly Joe Purchett might have, but he's certainly turned himself into a seasoned veteran, at least in the NMNTS and official racing as well. And, you know, I've worked with him a lot. He's one of my best friends in the world, and he's just blowing me away. He drove really, really good in the offseason, no matter what he was in. I think he got wins in every stage there was in the NMNTS over the offseason, and now he's working on possibly a stage battle for the stage win towards the end of stage number 1 here at Atlanta. You saw him actually get out of the throttle a little bit. He might be just sitting back, letting Bradley Wilson have this one and taking the second place stage points. That wouldn't be a bad idea so early in the season, but that 1 point, it doesn't sound like much, but it could mean a lot later on.
Well, then you have $10 on the line here, come at lap 50.
Yeah, that too. Although I'm not sure if these guys are totally aware of that. I don't really think that drives these guys so much, during the stages. may not be something really on their mind, as Zach Lindgren kind of just minding the gap right now. I don't think he's really pushing too much. But you never know. He's only 3/4 tenths back of Bradley Wilson. He could make a charge here in just a couple of laps. And 4 to go now, 3.5 as we round the back straightaway. We'll see what he's got as he follows his team owner, Bradley Wilson, around the track.
Making the gap up, and then he's kind of just settled in. I think, as maybe like you said, he may just be happier sitting second.
Yeah, I mean, he might be happier, at least for now, just riding where he is. He's got a really good position. Second place is nothing to complain about, but he actually did make up a 10th right there in that lap. Now with 3 to go, coming to 2.5 to go to the stage end, he's only 2.5 tenths back. Actually, now a 10.5. He's right there.
He just saved it just a little bit more.
He might actually just have a better idea of what he's doing than we do. I think he's just doing exactly what he wants to do. Coming up when it counts the most, he's got a pretty decent run. I mean, he's there for all intents and purposes. With 2 to go in the stage, he's right on him. Now he's taking a different line through the corner, trying to get clean air to that nose, and he's working on him. He's got something here.
He's going to have to get it done here through 3 and 4. Let's see if Bradley's going to...
Brad moves up, blocks the top line just a little bit. He'll drop down to the middle now as Zach's trying to work the top side. Doesn't have the clean air to his nose. And these guys right now, they're having fun. I guarantee you. They're communicating with each other right now, and they're having fun battling for the stage. Obviously, you know, it's on the line. It's all on the line, so they're going to be really, really serious, but they're just... These two are going to be having fun right here. They really are. And Bradley Wilson now elongating his lead almost to 4 tenths. Zach Lindgren, I think, heated his tires up a little bit too much, starting to lose some traction and falling back as Bradley really just did what he had to do, adjusted to what Zach was doing, got right in his way, and just took all the clean air away. That's going to be Bradley Wilson for stage number 1. Zach Lindgren in second. Zachary Kreiser will come home in third for the stage. Jared Beasley actually moved up to 4th. Jackson Allen fell to 5th. Tyler Justice 6th. Sawyer Ott 7th. Trevor Harmon 8th. Matthew Welsenbach in 9th. And Blake Fallone in 10th. Tell you what, though, that was a really almost exciting finish there to that stage number 1. I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, these guys didn't actually do battle. I'm going to have to slap Zach on the hand with the ruler later. Maybe he needs 2 or 4 more Desert Eagles on that truck, maybe. You think?
I think he may come in and get some.
Yeah, we'll see. If you guys don't know, last night in the Super Late Model broadcast of the NMNTS Super Series at New Smyrna, race number 2 of that league as well, or series as well. Zach was helping us out with the broadcast, as he will most Sunday nights, and he made the comment of saying that somebody, I think it was Tyler, was going to come in and get 4 new Desert Eagles, which, if you don't know, is a pistol, a handgun. So that was just a little bit off. I don't think Tyler was needing 4 new handguns at the moment, unless he really wanted to play with the competition and really get fired off for that restart. But nonetheless, we made I guess a meme out of it, if you want to go with internet terms, and we're not letting Zach live it down by any means. Just like I'm not going to let you, Brendan, live down saying that Zach hit it right on the hammer.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. Believe me, I make mistakes all the time. It's just fun to mess with people a little bit about them.
The thing that gets me the most, though, is that the Super Late Model does not run a Goodyear tire. They run Hoosier tires, so
yeah,
we weren't even close to being right.
Yeah, it was even further off. But give him some credit. He was trying.
Yeah.
Like, you can't knock him too much. He was just doing his best. And he is actually a really good asset to have for the broadcast. I really thank him for what he does, as he's actually going to beat his teammate out for the race off pit road. Tyler Justice as well, coming out in 2nd place. So from losing, I think, 20 positions to gaining about 5, Tyler Justice doing what he has to do in pit lane this time.
Definitely. You saw him come out there a lot of wheel spin. He was trying to get up there as quick as he could.
But, you know what this gives us a chance to do, Brennan?
That.
This gives us a chance to talk to Bradley Wilson, stage number 1 winner. Let's get him up here.
Ready?
I make rules, David. I don't
Oh,
follow them.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh. He might not have heard the notification from TeamSpeak that we're moving him up. We'll give him a chance. Yeah, that definitely was just having some satirical conversations there. Bradley Wilson, do you have a copy this time?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, sorry about moving you up prematurely, but hey, you won stage number 1, and that's definitely got to be a boost for that number 51 team, yeah?
Yeah, it felt real good that first run there. We, we run the Farm League Thursday night, which was a full-length race here, but not stages. But all Thursday night, I kind of kept in mind on where stages would be and how to manage tire wear and stuff. And left Thursday night feeling like we had a really good piece and a lot of confidence, so it's definitely carried over tonight.
Clearly, because once the seas kind of parted ways for you and you were in third place, you were just able to move right up into first and drive off. You almost had some Zach Lindgren troubles. He was coming up on your tailgate there. Tell us about that battle.
Yeah, Zach had saved a little bit more tire than I did, I think. So I think we were both kind of line searching there at the end to see if we could find anything else. But yeah, good to get them WFO cars 1-2 in stage 1.
Yeah, definitely. You guys pretty much commanded the second half of that first stage. Do you think you can pick up right where you left off, considering you've got to go through Zachary Kreiser and Tyler Justice to do it again?
I don't know. I think we're going to stick much to the same plan we had in that first stage and just really see what we've got here in the first 20 laps and then use the last 30 to see what we can do moving forward.
Well, I can hear in your mic that you guys are going green this time by, so I'll let you go for that. Number 51 looking pretty good so far. Do you think you have a chance to win?
I don't know, man. Anytime you got Tyler Justice in front of you, you know you've got an uphill climb, but definitely confident, to say the least. We'll just try to keep it out of trouble here and see what we can do.
Sounds good, man. We'll move you back down with your teammates. Best luck to you here in stage number 2.
Appreciate it.
Again, that was Bradley Wilson out of the number 51 crew. He is the owner-driver over at WFO Motorsports and the owner-driver for the NMNTS Racing Series. So it's good to have him I guess, showing some muscle here at Atlanta for the U.S. Army 200. And he just won $10. So that's got to be a pretty good boost to his night. And he's actually celebrating moving into a new place with his wife and family. So that's got to help a little bit. Maybe just get a new picture to hang on the wall somewhere. I don't know. But as these guys round turns 3 and 4, coming to the restart to kick off stage number 2, it's Zachary Kreiser in control. And Brendan, these guys are coming to the restart zone. They're off and away. Zachary Kreiser on the loud pedal. I actually called it a little prematurely, but now he's on the loud pedal. That number 39, OakForPause.com, getting out there and trying to get away from Zach Lindgren and Tyler Justice. Hasn't quite done it just yet, but he's certainly in the position to try. And that number 39 Jaeger Racing Machine coming around anytime. There he is. And Zach Lindgren actually into second. Tyler Justice with a bit of an issue on that restart. He'll fall back behind Sawyer Ott even. Now Sawyer Ott, teammates with Kreiser, working that top side, trying to get to second. Out of turn number 4, you see Sawyer Ott draw alongside of the 85. And Brendan, I think I just cut you off.
I think they're just Sawyer Ott there is pushing a lot of, using up a lot of the tire here right away. Let's see, maybe Zach will let him have it just to maintain the tires.
You know, Zach is pretty thoughtful when it comes to saving, and every once in a while he can get pretty flustered in a battle and, you know, use up a little too much truck or tire or whatever it may be, but right now he's looking like a seasoned veteran, be it on iRacing or just any car in general, and right now working that bottom side, just trying to keep cool and run his own race. He's definitely trying to keep ahead of the 49, but not racing him too hard just yet. I think he's kind of just minding his own business, running the bottom side, trying to keep that spot right now, and obviously, you know, he's being mindful of the fact that he wants to keep it. I don't think he's trying to push too hard. I think if he lost the spot, he would just kind of follow right behind Sawyer Ott and keep going. But further back, actually, the battle for 4th is starting to heat up with Bradley Wilson and Tyler Justice. Justice trying to take the top side. He gets his nose there. He's going to make the move. The SimSpec Chevrolet coming through, trying to get to 4th position. Brendan, do you think he can do it?
I think I'll have it here. Meh. The high side, the bottom side, you're able to work with the tires is starting to fall off as he completed a couple laps since the stage break here. So Bradley Wilson able to get ahead of him though.
Almost a bump. He's putting the nose to the outside. He almost put the nose to the back bumper of the 51. Tyler Justice, that is, as he's playing with Bradley right now in the air. And now here comes Matthew Elsenbach, the 3rd Jaeger Racing driver in the field tonight, as Aiden Young was unfortunately cut. Now moving his way into this battle for 4th. He's going to nearly get by Tyler Justice, lost the truck a little bit, and had to, I think, maybe check up, maybe burp the throttle a tiny bit, as they'll lap Michael Redding once more. But Matthew Elsenbach in the mix now for sure, and I want to quickly give credit to Ryan Daniels. He told me coming into this season, I see a big moment right there getting around the 2 for guys like Jason Alexander and Corey Walters. Ryan Daniels told me a couple of times before the season started that Jaeger Racing would be the team to watch for, and you know, at first I doubted him, considering these guys are new to the league and they'd have to figure the league out first. But I'm going to have to eat my words here for a second, and he'll be satisfied to hear that.
Yeah, definitely. They unfortunately, as we said, only got 3 trucks into the show, but they're all putting themselves in really great spots right now.
Yeah, definitely. And things like that happen when you can only get 3 of your 4 trucks with a charter into the series. Unfortunately, that did end up biting Aiden Young. I didn't think it ever would, because he's just so good, and he really is. He's quite a bit of a shoe, and it really surprised me to see him so far down the list tonight to where he would be anywhere near in jeopardy of getting cut. He ended up getting cut. Now here comes Tyler Justice actually coming to the inside of Bradley Wilson looking for the spot. He might have it this time in 3 and 4. And actually, Tyler has some right front damage. I'm not sure if I just didn't notice that before, but he's got some bad right side damage to that truck. Here comes Welsenbach on the bottom side. He's got some left rear damage. Jared Beasley through to the bottom side, trying to get by Jackson Allen. Squeezes him up towards the wall, then lifts. He's going to get out of that situation before it can get any worse. Good driving there to let him go. Jackson Allen now through to 7th position. Blake Falone on his tailgate, trying to make something happen. What do you see in further back here, Brennan?
Oh. Field here. Jason Alexander and Jason Burgess are going to go side by side coming out of turn 2 there. Jason Burgess going to make the move. If there's anything going on a little further back, maybe.
Burgess, Walters, and Alexander here for this 3-truck battle. These guys are all teammates in one way or another, so I think they'll cut each other some slack, but they are definitely racing for these positions. This would be 13th, 14th, and 15th. Mike Bruno now trying to get back into the mix. He's right behind him. Jared Wishon through to 17th, battling with Terry Mason. He's a WFO development driver in the NMNTS BA Graphics Cup Series, so it'll be interesting to see how he does tomorrow night for WFO Motorsports. As now Craig Lerman will move into this battle with Terry Mason. I think the next battle behind that, Brennan, would have to be the 52 and the 32, and it's really not as much of a
car
battle
on the wall
right
up
now.
ahead. Big time going around. The 29.
29. Welsenbach
yep.
and other trucks involved. You saw the 7 also with some heavy damage. Oh, and he tags Terry Mason. Welsenbach just came off the brake, wasn't holding the brake, and ended up tagging the 75, giving him some damage.
Somebody else ended up tagging him too. I think that was Corey Walters. Yeah, Corey Walters unfortunately caught Welsenbach right away almost.
So we'll go back and get a look at what happens here. Matthew Welsenbach with a big spill down the back straightaway, and, well, oh, that wasn't a very good look. We'll get another one. So you're going to be watching Welsenbach as actually Jackson Allen had passed him, was battling with Tyler Justice. The 4 and the 7, I think, make contact at a 2. That's exactly what happens. That shoves Justice into the wall. Justice catches the 29. Justice with some damage. He gets caught again, goes for a spin. Corey Walters immediately T-bones the 29 truck, and then you'll see him come off the brake. Not sure why. Ends up tagging Terry Mason. Shouldn't be too bad to the 75. Thankfully, this isn't really. He wouldn't have a right door left. We'll go back once more. And I will mention Zach Lindgren moved into the lead while we were talking about guys further back. So he will be your new leader. And I caught something out of the corner of my eye. This would be with the 2 and the 23 trying to miss the incident. Watch these guys on your screen here. You'll see the 23 end up coming in right into the 2 truck. Just piles into him. Those guys are affiliated teammates. I don't think it'll be hard feelings, but definitely just making a bad day worse for Michael Redding and giving Burgess some damage, and that's going to be really tough for that number 23. Kenny Yance, sorry, I just see his name grayed out. He's got some right side damage. I'm not sure what happened to him.
A lot of pit stops there.
Kenny Yance is a lap down. Actually, yeah, this is interesting. I don't know what happened to the 22, but hopefully he's not done. Yeah, he's back. It looks like maybe he had a connection issue or two there, but he's coming back. Zach Lindgren will be your leader, even out of the pits. Zachary Kreiser third, Sawyer Ott fourth, and Bradley Wilson. Or no, sorry, Sawyer Ott in third, Bradley Wilson in fourth. Jackson Allen will round out your top 5 so far out of the pits. Blake Falone sixth. And everybody watching, if you're enjoying what you see, obviously tune in some more. But first, before you do that, make sure to give this video a like, be it on YouTube or Facebook. I'm not sure if you actually can on Twitch or not. I haven't used that enough to know. And obviously, you know, whatever platform you're watching on, make sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube or Twitch, or just give the page a like on Facebook. It really helps a lot. Lets us know you like what you're seeing. And even if you don't, make sure to like and message us with whatever suggestions you have for the future, and we'll at least contact with you and see what we can do to fulfill that. Whether or not we actually can, we'll at least get in contact with you if you message us, and that's pretty easy to do on Facebook. I think a caveman could do it, stealing a bit of a line from Geico.
One that doesn't really get used too much anymore. I think that kind of shows our age a little bit there.
Yeah, that's those commercials were my childhood, and I don't think they're even on air anymore.
I don't believe so.
And Scott Andreas saying, only if you say please. Well, I will definitely say please. Please do it. It really helps out. And we're only looking for bigger and better things here at PSI TV. And I will say real quick, because I know this has been bugging Brendan a little bit. We did change our page name to PSI TV, or Pit Stop TV, sorry, from PSI TV. That will also be reflected very soon on YouTube as well at some point. Whenever YouTube actually allows me. I think there's a restriction that I have to wait a certain amount of time, but once I can, it'll be reflected there as well. I just wanted to go with that slightly bigger branding. It just kind of fits better in certain areas, so we are... It's a bit of an interesting situation here. I started a page back in 2015. It was called Pit Stop. Well, actually, at the time it was NASCAR 365 News, but anyways, ended up getting rebranded to Pit Stop Insider. And you can actually follow that page. I suggest you do, be it on Twitter or Facebook. Follow Pit Stop Insider. It's a really good page to follow. It's kind of died off recently, but once I'm out of school, we're going to try and get that back up and running full-time, with some NASCAR fantasy games, hopefully as well at some point later this season, possibly for the playoffs. And that kind of turned into PSI TV, and I just kind of wanted to get Pit Stop TV out there because it just kind of fits better. The insider part, you can use it, you cannot use it, it's there. It's really Pit Stop TV, I think, is the better branding for this side of things, but PSI TV, Pit Stop TV, whichever one you want to use. That's the explanation there. I know it's been bugging Brendan a little bit since I changed it.
Well, anyways, we have lights out on the pace truck. Zach Lindgren, our leader. We're around 3 and 4 here.
Yeah, and coming out of turn 4, the pace car will make its hard left turn into the pits. You see that front end of the 85 pickup. He's on the loud pedal. He's pulling away. And he is your sole leader by about a half a mile so far, out back of that number 85. And Now it's teammates from Jaeger Racing battling for second and third. Bradley Wilson also in the mix. Here comes Jackson Allen now putting his voice out there.
Definitely saw there on that restart that Zach Lindgren and Bradley were definitely in tune there, because Bradley got a really good jump on the Jaeger guys. Unfortunately, didn't really have anywhere to go since he couldn't change lanes until the line.
Here comes Jared Beasley around the top side of Blake Falone. Blake Falone kind of in a box right now with the 15 to his outside and the 4 in front of him. Can't really go anywhere because the 4 is locking down that bottom side. You saw him bobble a little bit. Jackson Allen trying to hold on to that position. Blake Falone almost washed up into Jared Beasley. Jared Beasley now coming through to the top side of Jackson Allen for 5th place. And here comes a name we haven't talked about a whole lot tonight. David Levine getting into the mix. Lap 73 of 130, and the real driver finally starting to show up. He'll get a kick out of that one. But David Levine, yeah, he hasn't really made much noise recently, but he's coming out here and getting that 59 into the mix. And right now, I think just got into 7th spot. So David Levine working that 59, and he's trying to look for more.
Definitely a lot of congestion right ahead of him, though, unfortunately, with the 11 of Falone and the 4 of Allen for him to get around. So,
oh, and a battle up ahead. Zach Lindgren under fire. Sorry. I saw the 2 side by side, and Zach Lindgren under fire right now. Sawyer out to the top side, almost contact out of 2. They'll figure it out. You can see some connection issues there for the 85. He's going to hang on to it as long as he can until race control tells him to back off. I think he just wants to get these laps led. He does wash up in 3 and 4, though. Almost makes contact with Sawyer out there, Brennan.
That time, Buddy Sawyer scored the leader. I think he's going to get him completely cleared here coming out of 2. He does. He's starting to pull away. I think we mentioned earlier, Zach a little bit better with the tires. Maybe Sawyer's just burning through him a little quicker here, or Zach's going to let him have it.
I don't know. I wouldn't be so sure this time. I think Zach may have burned his tires off a little bit trying to lead this race, and he was doing a great job until right there. It looks like he may have burned those tires up a little bit and see him get the apron there. He's trying hard. Further back, Jason Alexander looking for his way into the top 10, currently racing right in front of Trevor Harmon, right behind one of his affiliated teammates, Mike Bruno. So the Culligan Water Machine currently in 11th. Just has to get by Mike for the top 10 spot. Jared Washon actually has broken into the top 10. He is in 9th position. The number 96 Plan B Sales Toyota Tundra looking pretty good so far. Battle further ahead, Zachary Kreiser, Bradley Wilson, and Jared Beasley in the mix for 3rd.
Can't count out Falone or Jackson Allen really either. They're both catching up.
And here comes David Levine right back into the mix. We'll see if he can do something with that 59 truck from David Levine Racing.
Getting ready to say earlier, I think right now David's just got to sit patient, not really gap himself too much to the guys behind him, but just sit there, let everybody get shuffled out, and then he'll have a little bit better tires to come push.
Oh, he almost got the wall into 3 there. He's got to be careful of that, as does everyone, because I think turn 3 is one of the weirdest places to enter a corner of anywhere on the NASCAR circuit. It's actually really awkward. So I can understand if somebody gets the wall there, but you got to be really, really careful, because if you get the wall into 3 at Atlanta, you're going to have some big issues in turn 4.
Jackson Allen going to squeeze him up almost there. Cause both of them to slow down some there.
Yeah, David Levine working the top side, working the Kyle Larson line almost. Jackson Allen trying to defend against both David and now Jared Washon coming into the mix. Jared Washon trying to work the top side, and he's one of the newcomers to the league, and he's doing great. He really is. I love to praise this kid because he is really making strides in becoming a better driver here in the NMNTS and on iRacing in general. At first he looked kind of maybe like he wouldn't be necessarily a front contender, but I think he could be a pretty good sleeper, Jared Rashawn, when it comes to the hunt later on in the season. Brendan, you and I will get to cover that. I think he's going to be one to watch out for, because if he just runs like this all season, I don't know how you can bet against him for at least being a contender, if not making the hunt.
It definitely, I really started to take on to him in the preseason races there. I noticed he had some really good finishes and not really a name I'd heard before, so definitely I have to agree on that. It's just one to keep an eye out for. May not be the one to go out there and wins every week, but you can be consistent top 5, top 10s. You definitely have a really good chance come to the end of the season.
Yeah, I think if you're looking to be possibly a fan of the series in a way, maybe looking for a driver to pull for when you see these broadcasts on your computer or phone or whatever, Jared Rashawn, I think, is one of the best. I guess one of the best choices, I should say. He's definitely comes long ways, and he's really showing some muscle here, just doing a lot better. And right now, racing for almost a top 5 right now with guys like David Levine and Blake Falone and Mike Bruno as well. Back up to the front, though, Zach Lindgren still within striking distance of Sawyer Ott, but Sawyer Ott has put a pretty decent gap between he and the 85 My Little Pony machine. Then behind them goes to Bradley Wilson in third. He's got a decent gap on Jared Beasley and Zachary Kreiser and Blake Falone, even battling for fourth. And that's where we get back to Jared Rashawn and David Levine. But these guys up in the front doing a great job right now. I think this is the best racing we've seen in the front all night. Pretty close racing. And, you know, even though a couple of these guys may get a couple of gaps on each other, they're not just pulling away entirely. Even Sawyer Ott hasn't pulled away entirely from the 85. So even with that clean air, he hasn't been able to build too much of a lead. For the back, you see packs forming, pretty much like Daytona or Talladega. There's a bit of a gap between the front pack and a little further back. You'll see guys further back like Spence Thompson with some damage, and even Terry Mason with some damage hindering him. Ryan Daniels, this is around 20th place now. Blaine Falone in 19th, and other guys back here, Brennan.
And we almost had a move for the lead there. Lindgren right up on his tail now. Looking to the inside again. A little bit better drive coming in through the middle. Not going to quite get it. Got squeezed a little bit coming up. Now he's going to fall back to back.
And you know what? This is bringing Bradley Wilson back into the conversation. Bradley Wilson now in the same frame, and Jared Beasley not too far behind. I think these guys were waiting for this kind of opportunity to start making ground on these front two and see what they can do now as they're catching up actually on Tyler Justice, of all drivers to be catching up on the lap.
That's going to be his first lap down.
Yeah, especially at a mile and a half. That's not something you normally see out of Tyler Justice. Unfortunately, a lot of damage to that truck.
Yeah, rough night for all the Evil Outlaw guys.
But this does give these other guys an opportunity to show what they've got as well. Sawyer Ott, I think most indicative of that statement, really, in first place, and we haven't really heard much about him until now. I know we talked a little bit about him at Daytona in the duels, and in the actually the icebreaker was on max speed, but in the duels at the very least, he showed that he had something for these guys, and now he's out here running in first and just leading laps, taking them off one by one. And Bradley's here. I was just going to leave that stat up for Sawyer Ott, but Bradley's here. Here comes Jared as well. We'll go to the onboard of the 15, Jared Beasley, actually, and give you some telemetry. He's here. The JB Payne from the 15 is there. He's there. I don't know what else you can say. These guys have caught up, and it's kind of crazy that they have, because this far into the run, almost, 30 laps into the stage, I think? No, almost 40 laps into the stage. These guys have just driven right back up to Zach Lindgren and Sawyer Ott. That's kind of bizarre. Now here comes Zach Lindgren on the bottom side. Going for the lead. He makes a slide job. He clears him. Here comes the crossover. Into turns 3 and 4, Zach has the nose ahead and somewhat the better line on the top side. Now here comes Bradley Wilson wanting to win stage number 2. He just won stage number 1 a little while ago.
And Zach showing him what's up, and Bradley as well. Both going to get past him there. And not quite for Bradley yet, but Zach there, he really started to pull away. Fall back into realm here. Really good drive off the corner there. Bradley is going to clear him as well. Now it's going to be Sawyer Ott and Jared Beasley that go side by side.
Almost contact into one as Jared Beasley and Sawyer Ott trying to race each other, trying to take each other's lines away. And they'll fall back a little bit of even Bradley Wilson, as now Zachary Kreiser will be able to fall back into the mix, or come back up into the mix for the third position almost. First, he's got to go by his teammate Sawyer Ott, though. Bradley Wilson now in second place, trying to work up to Zach Lindgren for the lead. And now with 8 laps to go in stage number 2, it's all Zach Lindgren in the 85. Sawyer Ott now has fallen back to 4th, almost 5th position as Zachary Kreiser starts to work on him. We'll see if the adoptapet.com and hopeforpaws.com machine can actually do something with his teammate in the W Barbecue Chevrolet Silverado. Will Ford coming in and asking about Kenny Yance. We'll switch back to him real quick. Hopefully we don't lose too much of what's going on in the front. Kenny Yance currently running in 25th position. Has some right side damage. Not really sure what happened. But that 5-star drafting machine has fallen all the way back to 25th. Hasn't really had the greatest of nights, but you know, has made progress. He started, I think, around 20. Actually, we'll bring that up. 25th actually started in 25th. And fell back immediately, but through just running consistently has brought it back up into 25th. Now racing just ahead of Joe Pochette. That's not for position. So even if the 83 passes him here going into stage number 3, that won't be a position loss for the 22. And right now just trying to get up to speed. He kind of got rushed into the seat, if anything. He's really, really new to the sim and new to the series as well. So it's cool to see him making progress. But right now, the number 22, Kenny Yance from Daniels Cardinale Incorporated, with some damage, running in 25th. No, sorry, he started in 39th, so actually he would have started pretty much tail back on the field. I think he would have started next to last. I don't know why I was thinking 25th, but there you go, Will. Back up to the front. How we doing up there, Brennan?
The 2 had actually made the 11. Blake Falone slowed down there a lot. He had to check up. He kind of pushed up right into him. It looks like we almost had an incident there, but to get around. David Levine is just 1 spot away now from securing the top 5 in stage 2.
You see this big gaggle of cars right here, right around the center of the top 10, or the battle for the top 10, really. Trevor Harmon is actually the final driver in the top 10 right now. He is in 10th. Now here comes Craig Lerman looking to the bottom side. The number 43 from HRL Motorsports, seeing what he can do. Mark Broderick just behind him in 12th, seeing if he can get into the top 10, get a stage point.
2 to go for the stage.
And this is where we'll start to see moves be made. Trevor Harmon right now, I think, trying to work with Blake Falone a little bit, try to stay ahead of Craig Lerman and Mark Broderick. It's not working out for him,
cars
though.
Up ahead. Yeah, a couple slow trucks on the apron. Saw a lot of tire smoke on the backstretch there.
That may have been Joe Pochette and
Well, 13 in the wall. 7-Eleven looked like that was part of it.
Oh, we're gonna have a. Oh wow, I thought we were gonna have a wreck there. These guys sort of. Oh, there is gonna be a wreck. Jason Alexander pushes the 4 into the fence. Jackson Allen into the wall hard. You'll see him fall way back up to the front. Zach Lindgren's gonna take home stage number 2 here tonight. and a
David
cool
will-
$10. Jared Beasley moves into second. Bradley Wilson will come home in third for the stage. David Levine fourth. Just a bunch of shakeups at the end of that stage, and I don't think we even caught all of it. I don't think we got
David
half of
Levine.
it.
We didn't quite see that. David got a 2-for-1 there and going into turn 3 and 4 for that position there. That was a good move by him.
Craig Lerman will actually take home 2 stage points here in stage number 2. Mike Bruno will take home 1. As you saw, the whole top 10 there. Zach Lindgren taking home $10 and 10 points, though. And that's got to be pretty good feeling for that for the driver of the number 85 out of Los Lunas, New Mexico. If only the Dolphins could do maybe half as good. Sorry, I had to take a shot at him while I had the chance.
NFL's over.
Well, yeah, but Zach is a Dolphins fan, so I found it halfway reasonable.
Do I have to start on the Patriots not winning as well?
Hey, we made the Super Bowl. That's more than 30 other teams did.
My team won't be there for a very long time, so I don't really have room to talk. So.
Bears, right?
Yeah.
Well, you guys beat us in 85, so I'll give you that much. Maybe that's why Zach runs the 85, just to spite me. I don't know.
I don't think you'd know anything from 33 years ago, but...
Well, I would. And believe me, he lets me know all about 72 and the Dolphins.
I'm sure.
That perfect season. That's even further ago. What, 46 years? Well, as these guys
Bunch of
come
pit stops,
down the
though.
pit lane, yeah, I think everybody's going to come in. There's no reason not to after running 50 laps on these tires. We'll see if these guys can get into their pit stops a little better than Tyler Justice did on the initial stop, and David Levine misses his box at first. Sorry, I have to take some shots at these guys. We know them so personally, that might be a little unprofessional, but at the same time, it's just, we know them. I mean, they're not going to take too much offense, I don't think, so it's just, it's all in fun. It's nothing, to be mean or anything like that. Zach Lindgren comes out of the pits first, but, was it Trevor Harmon? No, Trevor did stay out. I think just trying to get a lap lead, get a bonus point. He probably will come in this time around. I wouldn't see why he wouldn't. So that should put Zach Lindgren back into the lead for the final 30 laps of the night. And Scott Andreas saying, "Go Pack, go." I ain't got a comment for you, other than, how you doing? Yeah, I think that's about it. But you'll see, we should see Trevor Harmon come into the pits here, and then a couple of these lap cars maybe as well follow him in. But other than that, I think they'll just stay out for the wave around. So we'll get in touch with our stage number 2 winner, as he got 4 new Desert Eagles on that truck. Zach Lindgren, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I got you. Go ahead.
Well, bud, you just won stage number 2 and a cool $10. How does that feel?
Oh, dude. I mean, winning money at any time, that's pretty good, man. But stage points right now, mwah, very bueno, very bueno.
Yeah, and in addition to those $10 and 10 stage points, you get 4 new Desert Eagles on that truck. How's that going for you?
The Desert Eagles feel really good when they're on the bottom of the truck, but honestly, when they grow about that medium stage between new and old, that's when I feel the most comfortable on them. I really like running this low line here. I'm trying the Kevin Harvick line here, so far it's working out, but Bradley's found something on the high side, so we just got to wait and see how everything goes here.
Yeah, well, Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, not exactly teammates in, real NASCAR, but it'd be interesting if they were, because they'd be employing what you two are right now, where I think Bradley's going to try and hit up that top side and try and just go high, wide, and handsome right around you like the smooth operator Bobby Pierce, whereas you're just kind of on the bottom side trying to find something down there. So do you think there's clear advantages one way or another, or do you think it's just up to the driver?
It just depends on how you get into the corner. There was a few times where I was behind the 49 of Sawyer Ott, and I just couldn't get into the corner that well, and I'd slip up, and he'd either gain on me or we'd stay about the same. So it's really up to the driver who gets into the corner. So far, Bradley's been pitch perfect on it. I've been so-so on it, so I'm going to be really watching how he gets into the corner and how I get into the corner pretty much. But I'm looking in my rearview mirror at the 51 right now, buddy.
Well, actually, you're looking out your right window. Looking back would be the 15. But if you're in first gear, you need to get in second, please, because I just went to your in-car, and my God, the revs.
No, we're in second. We're in second.
Okay. Then it was just a glitch then with maybe the pace car. I don't know. But best of luck to you in stage number 2. You've got a pretty good-looking number 85, and maybe that's to spite me and the Patriots losing it to the Bears in 85. But anyways, yeah, maybe the Dolphins can do maybe half as good as you one day. You're doing pretty good out there, though. I had to get a shot at you. I already made one without you here, so I had to get one with you here. But we'll let you go before the restart gets going. I need to get you back out there. Gosh, I got to rush. Best of luck to you. We'll talk with you later.
Thank you, buddy.
And that was Zach Lindgren from the number 85. And guys, I'm just trying to make this like more, people sounding. I don't want to sound like a robot up here.
Personal.
So, yeah, well, about personal. That sounds a bit weird. But Zach Lindgren coming to the restart. We'll see that number 85 pitch up when he gets on the gas. There he goes. You see the front end pick up by about maybe 6 inches with the way these trucks are. And he's off and away. But Bradley Wilson to his outside, not going away just yet. We'll see what he can do in the Olcan Hancock's machine. And Zach Lindgren having some blinking issues. That's normal. I think if we didn't have that 85 blinking, it would be, I don't know, it'd be
interesting
weird to see. Yeah, I wouldn't be used to it. I wouldn't be sure it's Zach in the truck. But Bradley Wilson not using the top side, using the bottom, unlike what Zach said. Maybe that's just a better line to start with, though.
Yeah, with the fresher tires, when you can run it full out, I think the bottom's quicker, and then once they start to wear out, everybody starts to fan up a little bit.
Yeah, and I've noticed that in my many times, if I can ever get the words out, my many times running the trucks here and other tracks, and these guys, wow, they're battling really close. But I've noticed that myself. David Levine actually got right up on the 15, got him sideways, and actually got David more sideways than Jared did. So that's interesting. We're seeing David really use that nose right now of that Toyota Tundra, trying to get the 15 unsettled, and trying to maybe get to the top 3 possibly as well. He's 5th place right now, working on Sawyer Ott and Jared Beasley simultaneously. And here comes Blake Falone trying to make his voice heard in the Pokemon, I think it's Eevee Evolution truck. He just sent me pictures of Pokemons to put on there, and I put them on there. I don't know what they are. I'm not quite that much of a 90s kid, considering I wasn't born in the 90s.
Oh, big time pushing up for Jared Beasley there. You got really loose.
He's going to hold on to it, but he's got David on his bumper, and David's not going to lift for him. He's almost putting him 3 wide.
Bradley there doing a little high side hustling. Jason Fager.
I like that analogy. That's better than smooth opera. Oh! David got into him. Contact.
They've been a little netcode there. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it might have been netcode, but they definitely, like, I could see from the way the trucks reacted to that, they made contact. Now here comes the crossover out of Bradley Wilson going to the bottom side, trying to make something work. Looking for the 3rd position, won't get it just yet. Put David Levine into 3rd, and now put Bradley Wilson into 3rd.
That's a little more smooth operator for you there than...
Oh, now Bradley's pushing up. Here comes Sawyer Ott. He's going to get right to the back bumper of the 51. Blake Falone now back in this. Here comes Jared Rashawn. Mike Bruno even. These guys only have 20 laps to go. They have to get on it, and they are showing that they know to go fast and turn left sometimes. They're definitely, I mean, they're pushing. There's no way of getting around that. They are pushing for everything they've got right now. They're going to be lapping Michael Redding here. That could cause some issues. Actually, we're going to watch the 2 truck if I can find him.
Holy cow.
Yeah, the 2 just, he's got some damage, but I think these guys are spread out enough where they're getting to him now that they'll be fine. See Chris Matthews work his way by him. For the back, actually, Spence Thompson, the first, excuse me, wow, the first champion of the Truck Series here in the NMNTS, currently running in the 19th spot, way back there. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to get much better than that for him. He's got a lot of damage from one of those earlier incidents that we didn't get a caution for. Kenny Yance back on the lead lap, though. He's battling with Robbie Buckner. Blaine Falone just behind him in the number 21. Good to see these guys getting somewhat back on track. Gordon Larson Jr. currently in the lucky dog position in 23rd. David Heiza, his teammate right behind him in 24th. Tyler Justice actually is 3 laps down. What a terrible night for him. I mean, it started out so well, so promising, especially after the win last night in New Smyrna. And just, you know, this is, man, it really is tough to watch the 7 do so bad, given that he's the defending champion in this series. And, you know, he did so well last night at New Smyrna. He got the pole tonight. It's really kind of tough to watch him just struggle right now with all that damage on that truck, but there's nothing he can do.
Yeah. Well, if there's anybody out there that I think is going to have a good chance, even if they have a poor finish, I think it'd be Tyler. Definitely come towards the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. He'll make it up somewhere. Believe me, he'll still get wins. That's no contest, really. He will get wins at some point. David Levine, though, holding on to 3rd place so far from Bradley Wilson. We'll have to see if that contact means anything with these two. Excuse me. They normally work pretty closely together, but I don't know. You know, being so late in the race, we may or may not see a bumper given. We'll have to wait and see exactly what these guys do with the Revant Optics machine. With Berkshire Hathaway Home Services also on the door, as well as TN Designs currently running in 3rd. Here comes a move for the lead. Jared Beasley now through to 1st. We'll see if he can maybe capture this win now with 15 to go. The number 15 soars into 1st place. Brendan, do you think he's got it?
I don't know. He put himself in a great spot. Just a few laps to go. I think Zach's got something in the tank to the left.
Well, something to consider, though, that last stage, the stage number 2 that we just had, Zach did so well at the end of it because it was at the end of 50 laps, where guys had really run their tires down. Whereas this stage will only end up being about 26 laps, and even in stage number 1, it was longer than that for a run to the end. So I think Zach was better off in that situation because he had longer to work with, but he can't wait as long here because there's just not as many laps. We're coming down to 13 to go this next time by. 13 and a half here as they round the back straightaway. Bradley Wilson got into 3rd, by the way. Here comes Dave Levine, though, on the bottom.
Yeah, Bradley unfortunately had to pull her back down to get out of the way of Michael Redding there. Give David a great opportunity to try and get past him. Side by side come to the line.
And also, guys, anyone watching, obviously, you know, give us a like, subscribe, whatever it may be to follow us. Normally,
David pushing up.
Oh, yeah, almost contact from the 59 to the 51 once more. But real quickly, you know, give us your thoughts on these camera angles. If you want to see some added, let us know. If you want to see some taken away, maybe, let us know. And we'll try and fit that the best we can. We want to make our fans happy. Obviously, you're the ones watching. So definitely let us know what you think about the camera angles, the commentating, anything that you have for us as we near 10 laps to go almost in the race, the U.S. Army 200 at Atlanta.
Again, David pushing up way high. Gonna let the 51 come to the inside, and the 11 is gonna be right there with him.
Yeah, David Levine, I think, putting on a show right now with the help of Bradley Wilson, coming for a crossover. Possibly, actually, Bradley, just what a slider right there. And now here comes Blake Falone on the bottom side. Almost had the nose down there. David trying to protect it. He's now through to the bottom side of Bradley. Wilson coming back on the top side. Zach mentioned it. The top side was treating Wilson pretty good just a little while ago, and we're seeing that come back into effect, so maybe he was right. And maybe it was just the start of the run, like you said, Brennan. So you see the 51 with Olcan Hancock and BA Graphics on that truck doing really, really good. Now through back into 3rd position, pretty solidly too, as these guys will do battle behind him.
David, it's clear, and he got enough drive off. Yep, he's gonna get him completely cleared.
But here comes the 11 trying to make a run back at him. Obviously, Jared Wishon also in the mix. Mike Bruno now coming back at it. He's in 7th. He's going to salvage a pretty good run out of this as long as he holds right there or gains some spots. Sawyer Ott has fallen to 8th, but it's still a really good run for him tonight. He led a lot of laps there at the end of stage number 2. Mark Broderick, Craig Lerman also in the mix. Christopher Matthews in 11th. Zachary Kreiser did fall to 12th, unfortunately, but he's not doing bad by any means. Now here comes Christopher Matthews on the inside of Craig Lerman. Sawyer Ott on the inside of Mark Broderick. These are the battles right around 10th place. Further back, Jackson Allen has some right side damage. He's fallen to 13th. Terry Mason in 14th. Jason Alexander, and Trevor Harmon battling for 15th. Trevor Harmon out of Fort Mojave, Arizona, trying to put that flip switch gaming truck in the top 15 tonight. Ryan Daniels
59
actually.
Just about. Ooh.
We'll switch back up there in a second, but Ryan Daniels currently in 17th, doing well tonight. Needs a bit of an oomph, but back up to the 59 of David Levine. He's lost a spot now, 2 spots actually, to Blake Falone and Jared Bashan.
He just about cleaned house on the 51 there. He pushed up again, and Bradley had just about 3/4 of the way cleared him, so that one luckily smartly backed out of it.
Oh, and now onto the apron. Yeah, he just nailed the apron with the left side of the truck. He's washing up into Bruno. Barely clears him. Now here comes Mark Broderick on the bottom. And Michael Redding on the top side slow with damage. These guys just truly jockeying for position and just making it real dicey out here, too, for themselves. Mark Broderick holding that bottom side pretty good in the Tide Pods number 32. 6 laps to go now as these guys are battling for everything they can find. The Revant Optics number 59 on the top side losing some steam. He got up into the top 3 at one point, and as the tires went away, so did he.
Lap traffic up here with the leaders, Joseph Andahar.
They get by it, though. 5 laps to go. Zach Lindgren on the tailgate of Jared Beasley. Has not let him go. We might see a move here. He's looking to the bottom side. Zach is certainly looking. They'll have 2 more lap trucks to get by. It's going to be at least Tyler Justice and likely David Heiza as well. Zach is trying, man. He has dug back up to Jared Beasley, and he is trying to get by him. Jared Beasley trying to hang on. Now here comes the 85 to the bottom. They draw side by side. Drag race to the line. It's you, Brennan.
The Beasley washed up a little bit there. Zach really, as he mentioned, he's preferring the bottom line.
And it cautions out. Zach was ahead. Zach was ahead. He had the nose ahead of Jared Beasley. Zachary Lindgren just won at Atlanta.
The 4 Jackson Allen involved.
Oh, that's awesome. Not for Jackson. Sorry. I'll clarify. Not for Jackson. Just being a real good friend of Zach. I try not to be biased, but I'm going to be biased here. That is awesome to see Zach finally get it. He got almost robbed of a win last week at Daytona on Max Speed TV. You can check that out when you have the chance. But we'll check this out with Jackson Allen
4 in
first.
the 75. Big hit for the 4 into the outer wall.
And we'll see what happens here. Jackson Allen's battling with 2 riot machines of Terry Mason and Trevor Harmon. You see what happens there, and right into the wall head on for Jackson Allen. Terry did a great job of hanging onto that truck, too. That was a great job to get it straightened back out. We'll get a couple more replays on this. And yeah, just big contact there to the left rear of the 75. Sorry, it's out of frame now, but you'll see this. The 4 into the wall hard. Wow, Terry did a great job, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
And he's going to hang on to 15th. Not exactly what he wanted, considering the performance he had going for him. But still, a heck of a drive, all things considered. Something's not going right. Oh, because it's switching trucks. That would be the reason. We'll try and get one more replay on this. It's going to be a little bit. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get you another replay on what happened here to bring out the next caution of the race. And here we go. This should be a decent angle. You'll see the 4 just pushed up. Jackson Allen pushed right up into the 75 of Terry Mason. Terry trying to save the truck, got right back into the 4. Not intentionally, obviously. He was sideways as heck. And he just ended up clipping Jackson Allen, sent him back into the fence, and you saw everybody coming through. But Zach Lindgren will be your winner tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway, obviously pending official review, but I don't think anything is going to overturn that one. And the My Little Pony machine is going to end up coming home in first place. And It's been a long time coming for him to actually get a points win in the NMNTS. He won all kinds of off-season races, and he was second place last week at Daytona on Max Speed TV. You can check that out on their YouTube channel, Max Speed TV. And man, he was battling with Mark Broderick for the win, and unfortunately the push didn't go quite right for him. There was a wreck in the back. It ended the race, much like here at Atlanta tonight. But this time, it was Jared Beasley on the outside that got bested by Zach Lindgren on the bottom. And, you know, Zach mentioned it, just he felt the bottom side was best. And tell you what, he held right to it, and he's going to win tonight at Atlanta. And again, I will clarify for everybody watching at home, I try not to be biased, but it's hard to not be biased, at least to a point. You know, being side by side with Zach through all his struggles, trying to help him become a better driver, and he's honestly taught me more than I think I've ever been able to help him out. So, one of the best drivers to watch in the NMNTS, and obviously getting a good start to his season here. And yeah, I don't know what else there is to say going into some home territory for him next week at Las Vegas, then Phoenix and Auto Club. He's going to be in the Southwest trying to back up this win here at Atlanta, Brennan.
Yeah, and I think I almost kind of want to make a joke to say that they may have to impound those Desert Eagles for after the race. But
yeah, maybe. I mean, he was honestly he was flying. That was almost a Tyler Justice performance, or maybe Mike Bruno performance out of him tonight. He led 40 laps. That's honestly incredible. He only led 28 laps last year in this series, I think. And between last week leading the most laps at Daytona, now I think leading the most laps tonight at Atlanta, Zachary Lindgren, wow.
definitely, as you mentioned, he ramped it up in the off season, and he's still on a roll, so that's really good to see for him.
And, you know, Bradley Wilson will come home right behind him pretty much in third place. That's certainly a good night for Bradley, too. I mean, with all the struggles Bradley has had, he got the win in the Icebreaker at Daytona a few weeks ago, and now he is third place with a stage win under his belt here from Atlanta. So we'll see if he can maybe improve on that. And, you know, it's hard to do better than third place, but it's certainly doable. Obviously, there's 2 more spots to gain.
The Evil Outlaw guys are going to scrap up not a horrible night. Jared Beasley finished in second, and Mike Bruno in sixth. A pretty good performance for them.
And guys watching at home, the race is over. These guys are just pacing around back to the start-finish line. Then we'll see Zach probably burn it down. But we'll get Jared Beasley into the interview room first, and this is all on you, Brennan.
Ready?
Oh, wait.
Hey, Jared, this is Brennan up here in the PSI booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, well, you got bested by just about a nose there. How'd the race feel for you, though, tonight?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I was saying you got beat just about a nose. How'd the race overall feel for you tonight, though?
It was, truck was fast all day, dude. It felt great. I liked it. And we were in a position where we could easily win that thing, and I was really hoping to just race that thing out. But Zach definitely did a heck of a job, and it was awesome racing. I was almost for sure I was gonna have him on the back stretch, but it is what it is. We'll come on with the second.
Yeah, definitely. How's the team morale tonight? Obviously, Tyler Justice and your team owner there, Michael Redden, not having their night. How'd the team speak? What was it tonight?
Yeah, the team did not do the best, but MR still came up towards the top, and that's really all that matters. But it does suck that how they ended their night. It wasn't their fault, but definitely. I mean, I've been in that position plenty of times. It's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, I'm sure I had a few incidents over the off season that didn't really go the way I'd like them to. But other than that, give you an opportunity here. You want to shout out anybody, any sponsors, anything like that?
Yeah, I want to thank JB Paints and Extreme Lawn Care, MR Motorsports, all y'all up in the booth, Bradley, Ken, John Barron, for putting on this league. What a great league, man. It's a fun league too. About it.
Alrighty. Well, I think we'll get you moved back down here and let you celebrate your second place finish tonight. Congratulations.
Alright. Thank you.
And just to clarify, I wanted to make sure we got him first. A little bit out of order. Normally we'd go third, second, then first, but I think this will be kind of entertaining getting the team owner, then the driver with third and first. So we'll get Bradley Wilson up here next.
There.
Bradley Wilson, do you have a copy?
Yeah, 10-4.
Well, Brad, you took home stage number 1. You ended up, I think, second in stage number 2, and you finished third in the race. So pretty good night overall, I'd say.
Man, great night overall. You know, that stage 1 win really gave us a boost, and we started to figure some stuff out. And you know, stage two couldn't ask for better than a third with teammate, you know, WFO teammate Zach Lindgren winning. And man, this old Kane Hancock's, you know, discount shop house truck. I knew we had a good piece coming in, and man, it really proved it.
Yeah, I mean, really good finish there, and actually I forgot to get your name on the screen instead of Jared, but a really good finish for you, and really good night overall out of that number 51, and obviously with Zach as well. How does it feel for you to be the team owner of that truck?
Oh man, it's great. Zach's an awesome shoe. Been friends with him for years now, and he's awesome little shoe, man. I feel very honored and humbled to have him driving my truck for me.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were doing some fun stuff. It looked like at the end of stage number 1, he was definitely trying to get by you, then decided to just wait. It was still early yet, and obviously I think that was a good decision by him to just wait and wait it out. He ended up winning stage number 2, then won the race overall. That's $25 for him, 10 for you. Is there anyone that you want to thank for this performance tonight?
Oh yeah, first off, gotta thank Old Kane Hancock's. You can go check them out at www.oldkanehancocks.com. Thank the guys at Discount Shop Towels for coming on this year. Also go check them out, www.discountshoptowels.com. You know, shop there, promo code Thunder18, pick up 5% off your order. And thank my beautiful wife for the great job she does on all these trucks, keeping them looking good going around here. And I just gotta thank the teammates, Zach Lindgren, Robbie Buckner, Spence Thompson. As a team effort tonight, we put in a lot of game planning and practice together, and glad to see it pay off.
Good deal. We certainly did pretty good in that number 51 tonight. Hopefully this transfers to Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Auto Club as we begin our West Coast swing following tomorrow night's Cup race. Best of luck tomorrow night as well. We'll be looking forward to catching up with you tomorrow.
I appreciate it. Yeah, two races, 2 top 10s, man. I'd say we're starting 2018 off right. Also got to give a big call out to David Levine. We raced pretty hard there at the beginning of that third stage, and that's what full confidence in somebody looks like, and a lot of fun racing with him.
Sounds good, man. Well, Brendan, before I let him go, is there anything you want to bring up to him?
Not really. I'd just give him another congratulations. Obviously, it's really good to see team affiliated guys come home first and third tonight. Congrats on that.
I appreciate it, boys. Thanks for doing all y'all do as well. It's extremely nice to have y'all back up in the booth calling these things.
Oh, for sure. It's a lot of fun. So this is going to be even more fun tomorrow night with you guys, I think, more so sideways than you are straight when we come back to Atlanta in the Cup cars. So be looking forward to it tomorrow night. Best of luck.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
And again, that was Bradley Wilson, the third place finisher tonight. He'll come home on the podium with his teammate and driver, Zach Lindgren. We'll bring him up next. Zach Lindgren, this is Andrew Cardinale in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I do, buddy.
Well, that kind of answers most of my questions, that enthusiastic response. You did it! Those 4 Desert Eagles, man, they did real good for you.
I guess you could say they were firing on all cylinders, bada boom, bada bang.
Well, but why would tires fire off on all cylinders?
You know, you don't have to question me.
Well, I mean, yeah, I shouldn't have to question you considering you just won at Atlanta. And, dude, I was mentioning it. This is a long time coming. I don't want to say you got robbed last week, but let's be honest, you kind of got robbed at Daytona. I think you should have had it more than just a really good friend of you, I hope. after a few years. I thought you had it in the bag, man, but you didn't. You didn't have enough on that last caution at Daytona last week, but this time you were in Mark Broderick's position. You got your nose just barely ahead of Mark Broderick's teammate, actually, Jared Beasley. And so now you get to right the wrong, I suppose, and you come home in first place in a way that won't peak your mic. How's it feel?
Dude, it finally feels so good to get this first points win. We've won a lot of non-points wins, and we've won a lot of non-points races, and we won a lot of off-season races this year, beginning of this year, and I wasn't really looking forward to the season, to be quite honest with you. I was afraid that it was just that preseason luck, and then we'd go in like the Cleveland Browns and just not do anything. But I got to give credit where credit's due. Last week, Mark Broderick outsmarted me. He barely nosed ahead, and I mean, he won because of it. I can't take anything away from him. I would have done the same thing if I was in his position, so I can't take anything away from him. But it feels so good, dude, to come out here and finally win. Dude, honestly, like, the feeling is just undescribable. I can't really describe it, but when I was finally starting to get good runs on Jared right there and get under him, and that caution came out, and I was just ahead of him. I really wanted it to end under green. I'm not going to lie with you. I wanted it to end under green, but we'll take the nose ahead, and we'll take that first victory of the season, and we're just going to keep pounding now. We've got nothing to lose.
Well, you have a little bit to lose. You can still miss the hunt. I don't want you to get too far ahead of yourself, but
this is true.
A great drive out of that number 85 tonight. We were talking about you a ton tonight, and if I bring up the official amount of time you were on screen, it's going to amount to nearly 23 minutes now.
Wow.
And
that sounds good for the sponsors, huh, Andrew?
Yeah, well, it's mostly just My Little Pony on that truck.
Hey, you got to get your name out there somehow.
I suppose. But yeah, just a great drive. Overall, is there anything maybe you could have done differently in stage number 1 to maybe get all 3 parts of this race under your name?
Well, that first stage, me and Bradley were really racing each other, and I knew he had a really good truck, and I knew I had a really good truck, and there was no reason for us to get really rowdy right there coming towards the end of it. So I started really experimenting on old tires, seeing where I can go, how the truck would handle, and that's why I stuck to the low line most of the time. When I try to go to the high side on Bradley, I lost a ton of momentum on him, so I right then and there, that's when I learned the low line would probably be my best bet. Next thing I could have done to get around him was just wait for a mistake on his end. He was so solid through that first run, there was nothing I could have done. Maybe bump him, but I mean that was way out of my mind when it was coming down to it. I didn't want to hurt any of us. I knew we had 2 really good trucks, and it proved we were finished 1-3 today.
Yeah, he certainly did really well in the number 85 tonight, and I mean, maybe you didn't get all 3 parts of the race, but you were second in stage number 1, so that gives you an average finish of 1.2, or no, 1.3, I think. I don't think that's bad at all, and you take the 2 races as a whole, and you take 3 divided by 2, it's, 1.5 for an average finish, so you're doing great. I think you're easily the championship favorite right now, really. Because even Mark Broderick was a little mired back in traffic there at the end. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with you right now as a championship favorite. How's that feel?
Well, it feels really good, but like you said earlier, it's really early. I mean, I did get a little ahead of myself saying that we've got nothing to lose now. I do want to kind of retract that statement, by the way, but like you said, it's really early in the season. It feels good. I already have that favoritism on my side, but we still got a whole lot of racing to do. A lot of things can happen, but I mean, if I'm able to keep this momentum up, then I'm feeling really confident going into the hunt, even though that's about 7 or something like that months away. But to be already called an early favorite, that's something in the back of my mind, but we still got a whole lot of season to go through.
Yeah, definitely. And before we let you, do the sponsorship obligations, Brennan, do you have anything for him?
Congratulations, buddy. I know this has been a big one for you, and happy to see you come home in victory lane tonight, bud.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much.
Well, Zach, we're going to have to find a new nickname for you, and I don't think Pony Boy is going to fit. I think it's good. I don't think it fits winning, though. It's close. We'll figure something out for you, though. But just
that's your guys' job.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe something along the lines of Pinky will work. I don't know.
Funny story. That's a character in the show.
I
BTW.
know. Golly. It's on the right rear of your truck, too. I had to add it. Believe me, I remember. Anyways, sponsorship obligations. You have any?
Yes, sir. I got to thank everyone that put paint on this truck. Like you were saying, you did it over at Wall Crusher Designs. If you want a smooth-looking truck like this one on, or smooth-looking paint like this one on your vehicle, go over to Wall Crusher Designs. They'll get you hooked up. PSI TV, the guys putting on the show for you tonight. Always letting me get my 10 minutes of fame in, getting my 15 minutes of fame, and sometimes letting me up in the booth, which I really do. Which I'm really thankful for. Everyone over at IRAPS as well that helped contribute to the paint. Everyone at WFO, Riot, DCI that really helped me to become a better driver and helped me put this one in victory lane. The brave men and women overseas defending this country, we wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for them. So I got to thank them. Bradley, Ken for putting this show on. Like I said, you guys up here for putting the show on and or showing it. So that's really everyone I got to thank for right now. If I do missed anyone, or if you want to put anything on this truck, let me know.
Sounds good, man. Well, before I let you go, I just want to make sure you're informed on this, as I'm sure you are. You're the winner of $25 tonight, courtesy of the 1-68AR presents the U.S. Army 200 program there. I believe it's an Army regiment. I'm not sure on how to actually reference them. I'm sorry, I'm just not well versed in that department. I will try and make sure we're, solid on that if it ever comes up again. So apologies to anyone at home if I'm doing that totally wrong. I'm just not totally well versed on that. But great job out there tonight, Zach. You drove a heck of a race. Almost speechless, man. Really cool to see you finally get it.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much. And I'd also like to shout out those guys that put up the money tonight. I don't really want to go over the name because I don't want to butcher it, but huge shout out to those guys for putting up the money tonight for the league, and hopefully we put on a good show for them. Hopefully we made them proud, and like I said, the $25 really does help, and I thank them for it. So huge shout out to those guys.
Definitely, man. Well, again, big congratulations. We'll see if you can actually back it up tomorrow night as we're coming back to Atlanta, albeit in very different cars. And I believe you'll actually be in a Toyota rather than a Chevy, so that'll be interesting to see as well. And then we'll get to catch back up with you on Sunday night from Las Vegas. And, Bud, we'll let you go. Thanks for everything you've done so far.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
And again, that was Zach Lindgren, driver of the number 85 My Little Pony Chevrolet Silverado here in the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series. Once more, congratulations to him. A huge win tonight as he gets it done from Atlanta Motor Speedway. And, Brendan, do you have any closing thoughts?
Overall, I think this really is a good race. Kind of some tempers flaring towards the beginning, and then a lot of good battles towards the end, and not quite a green flag finish to the end, but I mean, the margin of victory there is pretty close. So I think it kind of had just about everything you could want. Some spectacular crashes, to say the least, in there, a couple. So yeah, that was a fun one.
Definitely. I think it was a very good race. I think it's a really good way to bounce back from a few more cautions than maybe we should have had last night at New Smyrna. Just a great show, I think, overall, and a really good testament as to exactly what you'll get here in the NMNTS. You'll get tempers, you'll get passion, but you'll also get great racing. And again, just a really good testament to that. But as we have to close down the show, Brennan, can you give us the top 10?
Alrighty, obviously coming home with the win tonight was Zach Grin. Second place going to Jared Beasley. Third to Blue Wilson. Coming home fourth tonight, Blake Falone. Fifth going to Mark Roderick. Sixth place tonight's going to be Mike Bruno, followed by Christopher Matthews in seventh. Eighth place going to Jared Washawn. Ninth place going to David Levine. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be Craig Lerman.
And in 11th, we'll have Jaeger Racing driver Sawyer Ott just ahead of his teammate, Zachary Kreiser, in the number 39. Trevor Harmon will come home 13th for Riot Racing, sorry. Or is it Riot Motorsports? I forget. totally forgot. They had one name and they switched. I think it's Wright Motorsports now. But anyways, great run for him and the team, because right behind Jason Alexander, who finished 14th for Gunslinger, we'll have Terry Mason, Trevor Harmon's teammate over at Riot. Ryan Daniels brings it home for DCI in 16th. Jason Burgess will add to a decent night for Gunslinger Motorsports in 17th. Robbie Buckner, I believe, will actually be the third of the WFO drivers to come home tonight in 18th spot. Jackson Allen in 19th, and his DCI teammate in 20th to close out your top 20. Kenny Yance.
Coming home 21st tonight's going to be Blaine Falone, followed by Gordon Larson. He's the last one on the lead lap. We had David Heiza, lap down, followed by Tyler Justice, 3 laps down. 25th is Joseph Andahar, 8 laps down. 26th was Spence Thompson. He ended up 9 laps down. 27th, Joe Burchett, 11 laps down. Michael Redding, 28th, 12 laps down. And tough breaks here. Derek Robinson, 53 laps down, finished 29th. 30th going to Matthew Welsenbach. He ended up 63 laps down. 31st to Corey Walters, 64 laps down. And rounding out the field tonight, 32nd, 98 laps down, was PJ Popham.
And of the drivers that did get eliminated in qualifying, we have Jeffrey Ford, Jared Mogard, Aiden Young, Ronald White, John Kennedy, Justin Richter, Clayton Kurtz, and Jake Little. 8 drivers tonight were cut. Those guys do not have charters. There are 25 in the field that do, so there's only 7 spots each week, and 15 showed up to try and get those 7 spots. You see over half of them were cut from the field tonight. And then you have the 2 race officials, John Barron and Ken Yance. Got to thank them, as always, over at SimSpec PCs. Or SimSpec PC Towers, I believe, is the actual company name. Definitely go ahead and check them out. They are the series sponsor here at the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series. And Brennan, it was a pleasure calling this race with you. Real quick before we go, obviously it's real early in the season, but who would be your championship pick?
I know the obvious one you want, so I think I'll pick someone else here. I definitely think, I don't know, we brought his name up a lot tonight about a great job he's doing. I'd say maybe Jared Washon's got a chance at this one at the end of the year. Good finish for him tonight.
That's certainly a long shot. I think he will certainly be in the talks, though, and we'll see if he can shape up into possibly winning form by midseason. And that's really going to be the testament as to whether or not he's got a legitimate shot. I'm not trying to discount him at all because I love talking about the kid, but I think that's a long shot in my personal opinion. I think as far as a championship pick, you have to go with Zach Lindgren or Tyler Justice. I think those are the 2 that pop out in my mind. Obviously, Mark Broderick has his free ride to the championship from the win last week with the No Bull program. Because he won at Daytona as a No Bull driver, he is automatically locked into the hunt here in the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series. So he has a free ride, whereas Zach doesn't with this Atlanta win. So obviously Mark Broderick is there. He has to be a favorite, obviously, since he's guaranteed his way, and he's very fast as well. Tyler Justice, I don't know how you bet against him in the long haul, because he might have an off night here, he might have an off night there, but give him a week. He'll be right back to his normal form. But this has been Pit Stop TV. Got to thank everyone for tuning in. This has been Andrew Cardinale in the booth with Brendan Elsoff alongside. And tune in tomorrow night for action again from Atlanta. This time it'll be in the NMNTS BA Graphics Cup Series. Make sure not to miss a minute of the action. You can tune in here on Facebook or on Twitch, YouTube, whatever you may choose. So definitely make sure to give us a tune in next week and tomorrow night and whenever else. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone. This has been Pit Stop TV.